Hey guys, Big Geordie Geek here, and I'll change my lights, make them... No, that's the wrong button. That's the right button, make the lights fancy in the background. I'm going to paint some horrors for Sigmar. Age of Sigmar sorted out. I've got some pink horrors, I've got some blue horrors, and I've got some brimstone horrors, and I'm basically going to try and use some guides to help me get there, and we'll go from there. So we'll start off by hitting the...
Blue horrors are indeed the Lord of Change, then you go to one.
So got Duncan on there. He's going to tell me what I'm going to use to. So let's have a look here. So we'll just yeah, I think I know how I'm going to do that. Right, okay. I know how I'm going to do that. Yeah. Okay. Right, so shall we go to the painting table then? Let's do it. Right, okay, right. Well, first of all, I actually need to base coat these Brimstone Horrors. I'm just going to use this crappy old brush here. I'm going to paint them with some Corax White. Jesus Christ, Corax White is terrible as a paint, isn't it? It's awful paint. Oh, what was that? It's causing something to happen. Oh, I should put my light down a bit further here. Please sort out that properly, that window. Okay, right. Oh, it's boiling. It's absolutely boiling. Yeah, Corax White, horrible paint. But let's I need to get a white established on these guys. Oh, lots of my camera is in focus. Because I've got all this stuff in the way. Because I'm a silly belly. Move. What was that? Something fell. Okay, right. Horribly. Oh, not my camera, that's why. And oh, something's at an angle. I think it might be the mat actually. Just give me a second. Nope, camera's been knocked. Okay, well that'll do. Oh. It's quite washed out because it's white and white. Well, I want to get this done first. I need to change that. I need to work on that spectrometer thing. It's not working that well. Yeah, so just doing some painting for the next hour or so, or about an hour long. So just getting on a bit of just a nice consistent coat of Corax White for these Brimstone Horrors, and this stuff is from Silver Tower. So these guys are mostly going to be done with washers. It's going to take a bit of whereas I'm going to use guides for the other guides, 2 bit for this skin. There it is. Oh, right, okay, here's a brush. Now we're going to, there's a cheat a little bit. Well, not cheat.
We've had a question from Blake Chase at Laser Field.
So have a look.
We're going to shade all over it, using here, and if you want, you can add a fine highlight which crimson. You're going to put this all over you. This got to do goes on your areas, which
okay.
Once the shade's completely dry, apply a layer of pink horror using a medium layer brush, and with this you're looking to paint all the flatter areas.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Alright, so the pink horrors are going to get Corax White as well. So where's that crappy old brush gone? Oh, that'll do. Because Corax White is a horrible colour to deal with. I primed it grey, specifically sprue grey from TT Combat, because I like that colour as a good spray. But to be fair, it's only because I was at one of their show where they were at, and they had a really good deal of paints. Normally I use, for my white, I use Wilkinson's sort of white primer, which works for me. So we're just going to get this guy, then he can get washed. So there might be plenty of guys getting washes tonight, so I might have to do some work on some of the other stuff. that I've got while these are drying, because that is the problem. Nobody wants to watch paint dry. So let's just get this one. Just get a nice old coat of Corax white on there. So yeah, I'm gonna turn on the big fan. It's quite warm in here. Nobody wants to poach paint dry. Yeah, I suppose it is a bit of a line to join in on. Hello there. I'm just sort of putting a base of Corax white onto these pink horrors, because then they're going to get washed with some Carabao Crimson. No, what I meant was I've got a couple of these are going to be heavily about washes, so I'll probably work on something else whilst working on these, just so nobody has to just sit here while paint dries and I'm waiting. I'm terrible for that. I don't like waiting around, so I tend to be doing like multiple things at the same time, because I'm a bit of a butterfly, to be fair. That's me. Bit of a butterfly. So I've got these guys for my silver tower, these horrors. So so that's the first pink horror. I'll get the next pink horror. So there's 2 pink horrors, 4 blue horrors, and 4 bases of Brimstone Horrors. Because I'm going to get my silver tower and my shadow and over Hammer Hull painted this year. To be fair, I've got most of the heroes done. Shadows of a Hammer Hull just needs the Putrid Blight Kings and the Blood Reavers done, because there's a lot less in that box. But I say a lot less. There's a lot less variety in that box because it's just off-the-shelf kits. Whereas Silver Tower was all, you know, existing models. Sorry, new models, new sprues. So there's a lot more variety in that one. And what is it? What's the other one? Sorry, this is just a terrible brush. It is a medium layer brush that is absolutely knackered. Just used for race brushing now. Yeah, no, Shadows of Hammerhall's got a lot more variety of models in. Same like with Black Fortress. A lot more variety of models, but less. What's the word I'm looking for? But with a lot more variety of models, a lot more textures and stuff. Whereas Shadows of a Hammerhall is basically the chaos baddie. A few already existing heroes and 3 sets of bad guys. One for each of the 3 chaos gods that had a sort of mortal unit available at that time. So basically everyone but Slaanesh. The Slaanesh took a long while to get any mortal units for Age of Sigmar. Yep. There we go. Right. So while that's drying, I'll have a look at what's the first colour I'm going to be putting on the blue horrors. I'm using Warhammer TV guides because, you know what, they're good.
With the release of Tzeentch, Tzeentch.
Okay, come on. Oh, no, I've fast forwarded. Right, so we're going for Calador Sky. Dry brush colour. Okay, right. Calador Sky, that's easy enough. Where's Calador Sky? It's Cantor Blue. Calador Sky, stick and step. There we go, Calador Sky. And then it's just a wash of Juicy Violet. So yeah, I will be probably moving on to. So yeah, we're just going to get this Calador Sky base painted onto him, and then give him a wash of Druzy Violet. So I think while they're done, I'll start some work on some Infernus Marines I have got going on here. I'm terrible for like starting multiple projects all at the same time. There we go. So lots of ancient demons, obviously, in this thing. Tzeentch is a god that's never really appealed to me in terms of gameplay, simply because I find all the magic stuff, it's just a bit overwhelming. There's just so much magic that he does, and the game can get very, a game with a Tzeentch army can get very lots of bookkeeping, lots of, right, I've got to use this dice, and here's the fate stuff, and, do this magic spell, and as an opponent, a frequent opponent, unfortunately, as Tzeentch players, it can get a bit boring. I don't, it's like, right, I've got all these spells to do, got this spell to do, blah 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 blah. Ugh. Honestly, it gets very boring. Oh, 2 more of these to go. I mean, it shouldn't take much to get these horrors done. So we're just going to get this. So, yeah. Lots of it's a lovely gribbly blue fleur. Just cracking on with that. I hope the fan isn't too loud. It gets very hot in this attic, so I have to tend to have to put the fan on because it just is way too. It just gets way too hot in here. Oh, right. Have I go? I imagine waiting for people to put spells into traditional RPGs can be boring. Yes and no. I think the thing is with RPGs, it tends to be very. I mean, I'm playing on Dungeons and Dragons at the minute. I'm the only guy with spells actually, because I'm playing a half-elf druid, and I'm the only one with spells. And to be fair, I can only pick 2 spells each day, so I've only got 2 spells to choose from. I've only got 2 spell slots, so it's a case of when do I use them. And to be fair, most of the time I'm taking Detect Magic and something that will heal some wounds or undo some damage. So tends to be very. Plus, I'm working in a cooperative with other guys. I'm not like in it for me, so it's actually not that bad. But Tzeentch, I just personally find Tzeentch a little bit too much bookkeeping. It's not wrong with Tzeentch players, I mean, it's a fun. He's got some fun units. He's got some fun models. Some lovely color schemes. I mean, the blue Thousand Suns color scheme is really nice, but it's just not for. It's just not for me to play a heavy Tzeentch army. It's just too much. Too much. Right, I gotta hope that this goes off and this goes off. Blah blah blah. Just not for me. But you know what? That's the cool thing about games like this. There's lots of different playstyles to suit everybody. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm checking how dry is this guy. Yeah, he's not too bad. Some of this. Okay, right. I feel like I can do some. So first things first, we've got these Brimstone Horrors. We've painted them with Corax White, and now I'm going to give them a wash of Cassandora Yellow. To be honest, these guys are mostly going to be washes. And then a dry brush. So these Brimstone Horrors are going to be super easy. It's just basically painting fire. Because the cool thing about these, I love the lore behind the horrors. Is basically you start off with a pink horror, and once you kill a pink horror, each pink it splits into 2 blue horrors, And the blue horrors, when they get killed, split into two of these little brimstone horrors. And it's quite interesting lore-wise. So, and it's been represented really weirdly in the fair slowdown spells, probably at higher levels or more stops. Yeah, it does tend to get more chaotic. The time before this that I played it at D&D, and it was quite a while ago, to be fair, because my group, I moved from Newcastle, so I wasn't getting to my group as often as I could. I usually play a bard, and I had this spell that basically created a bunch of knives and stuff in the air, and then there was the wizard with us that sort of created a tornado. So we were in this like bunch of dragonoid things, and I cast the knives into the air, and he cast the tornado room thingy. So he'd made a knife nado that just slaughtered all these things, and yeah. Right, I need some red wash now. Carabao Crimson. I'm still going through my old washes because I'm terrible. Ever since the pandemic, I really don't like going below certain level. I like to have spare. Just out of Juju's in my Sharknado. Oh yeah, that would be quite cool. So we're doing a wash of Carabao Crimson on this pink horror here. And from looking at the guide, basically this just gives us, helps give us the area where we're going to be painting on the actual pink horror paint. And gives us some shade and stuff, so I quite like this. Yeah, I'm playing a druid now, but I just have a panther as a companion, who I've mostly been using to intimidate guards and stuff. We're playing circus performers. It's quite interesting. I make Chris as the GM, and it's a lot of fun. I need to play more. I got the Avatar RPG a few months ago from the Kickstarter. That actually is Avatar: The Last Airbender. Always have to figure that up now because Avatar's back. Animals is a touch thing. Yeah, I think. Yeah, sorry, I'm not up to speed on all phrasing stuff, but yeah, I've got a animal companion. I've got a panther, Cuddles. I've never played a druid before, so this is very interesting. I'm Atla RPG 2. Yeah. I got it on PDF as well because they give it to you when you bought it physical. But yeah, that's one I want to try next because I like the universe. It's very interesting. It took me ages to actually watch the series though, because I'd watched the film first, and I was like, nah. It doesn't seem like the kind of thing I'm interested in, Lindsay. I don't really want to watch the cartoon. It's not going to be my cup of tea. I've seen the film. What else do I need to see? Oh boy. Yeah, poor soul. Yeah, I got that. I get that a lot. Right. While that is drying, and that because my blue horrors are still not quite dry, I'm going to take some corn red, wherever I've put it. I had it round here a minute ago. Where have I put my corn red? There it is. I'm going to start on some of the armour of my Bloodraven Infernus squad. So, start with this guy. So, I'm terrible. I really struggle to do recess washes on infantry. I really struggle to do it, so I tend to go for an all-over wash, and I find it easier to tidy up with another coat of the base paint. As I said, I'm a terrible painter. Don't listen to me for painting advice. But yeah, my wife was all like, no, you can't judge the film. It was terrible. You gotta judge it by the actual series. And it took a couple of years for her to convince me. Oh, shut up, you! I've just alerted one of the digital assistants in here. I've got an iPad set up here, and I keep meaning to set it up so I can see chat properly with it, because I don't really take streaming that seriously. I just do it for fun. I'm not like, I'm going to be like a top level streamer guy. That's a kid's game. I just want to stream for fun. Because sometimes it's better than just sitting here listening to yet another weird album or audiobook that you listen to. Doesn't it? Actually, I'm quite good for listening to. Shyamalan is my least favourite director for a number of reasons. Switch to the topic of better films. I have seen the first Spider-Verse film, and it is absolutely phenomenal. I have not yet seen the second one. I meant to, but when I was down for the UK Games Expo, but I haven't got round to it yet, so I'm probably going to end up seeing it when it gets released. But yeah, the first one is one of the best. It's one of the best. I mean, the animation style is just, incredible. But the story is great. And Miles Morales is absolutely one of my favourite Marvel characters. And it's not because it's just because he represents something that was, I think for a long time, Peter Parker. UK Game. Oh, any highlights from UK Game? I was pretty much stuck on my stand all day. I worked for Asmodee, who are basically the biggest board games, well, pretty much the only board games distributor in the UK. There's not many others, and I, or any notable others really, to be fair. And I was working on the Shatterpoint stand, demoing that and Legion and X-Wing. One of the most interesting so far, because being stuck on the start, I also got to do the card building game as well, which is really good. Yes, I was working. I tend to I tend to a lot. If I go to a con, half the time I'm demonstrating, because there is nothing. It's great to be at the UK Games Expo. It's even better to be showing people the really cool games to play. So I got to demonstrate. I got stuck with the duty of demonstrating to what do you call it? Press for Shatterpoint. So I got a bunch of podcasters and YouTubers who came and were filming that, and I was basically giving them a basic rundown of the game, which is the worst idea because I was the least specialized Shatterpoint demonstrator there. Like I know enough of the game, but I don't know the game altogether, if that makes any sense. So the only one that I've been featured on the video for is Discourse Minis. Not on my voice, just pictures of me, and I'm like, oh, because I was quite scared of her. She's very scary on YouTube. She's very aggressive. And, she's very, but actually in real life, lovely person. Just obviously online persona. They're very much the attack dog. So yeah, I was lovely person in real life, which is a relief. I suppose the thing is sometimes you've got to hit that. This is what I do. This is my unique selling point, and sometimes aggressive, anti. I suppose anti-shilling, as it were. Because I mean, to be fair, most of her points are quite valid. It's just I just never particularly really like the way she puts them across, if that makes sense. But yeah, no, it was fun. Shatterpoint is a really good game. I love Shatterpoint. The idea of it is gotta get this focus right. Yeah, I love Shatterpoint. It's a really innovative, interesting game. There's a bit of randomness and there's a bit of, it's a really interesting concept for a game. They throw alternative activation, but you don't necessarily know who you're going to activate. And it's definitely a game that I absolutely want to pick up for myself at some point. You'd think they'd give me a staff discount, wouldn't you? No, they pay me, so that's enough. And to be fair, I use the money from it to buy a Steam Deck, so... And a bit of, what do you call it? Firefly, the 10th anniversary board game fancy edition. these models are actually really nice. Do you know what it is? All of these Primaris models, I know some people have varying opinions on them, but I actually love the Primaris models. I think they just got so much nice detail. I tell you what, if you were a really good freehand type painter, you could do some amazing stuff with these models. No, what I love about Shatterpoint is that it just feels like a Saturday morning cartoon. Did not appreciate the day one errata, where it was like, oh, by the way, you need to read this FAQ because we completely changed how cover works. So it's sort of, which, to be fair, kind of makes sense with the concept of the game, because basically what you have to do is you have to act to get the benefit of cover. It used to be on the initial rules, it was you have to be behind something, right? Like a normal game, you just have to be slightly behind something. But they put out an FAQ, and it really works really well, because what it does is it basically says it is assumed that everything is happening all at the same time. So it's like it is like a proper Saturday morning cartoon. You know, I mean, that's more American. You know, we had them more as after school, didn't we? I don't know. Does the term Saturday morning cartoon really apply to the UK? I don't know. I find that weird. I don't really remember Saturday morning as being a cartoon day. It was more going live and kicking and stuff. Type of thing. Anyway, yeah. So basically, what they now is one of the actions you can take is to what's called hunker down. So you take a hunker down token. And basically now you only get cover if you're actually actively taking cover by taking a hunker down token. Otherwise you can be shot. It's assumed that all the actions that happen in the game happen in the same moment. So it's like, even if you're stopped behind barrels at the end of your turn, it's assumed that you were still in motion, as it were, as the other person's turn happens. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it does make sense to me. But yeah, it was just day one FAQ. It was like, I did not like that, because we hadn't demonstrated it like that at I was at Star Wars. So this is just some Drusi Violet over the Calador sky to shade off the blue horror. So yeah, that was not appreciated getting that on day one, but it was fine because it makes sense. If you know, I thought it made sense. I was looking at it, I was like, okay, yeah, that actually makes sense. But no, I spent most of the day on X-Wing days on X-Wing and Legion, and a bit on the deck building game, which is really good. It was always funny because I don't really see much X-Wing. I don't see X-Wing played at all. But then they were like, "Oh yeah, I love this. I love this game," and I don't know. I haven't played X-Wing in a long time. The rules got a bit too. It got a bit too. You have to have every single model multiple times to get the right cards to make any kind of build work, and it was, you know, only the latest models will actually do anything, which made it a really hard game to keep playing. Still a great game. Oh, I mean, in concept. Right, okay, so I'm waiting for the washer to dry now, so these, they've got a bit to dry, so I'll move on to do a couple more Infernus Marines, get their red layered up. So I'm doing my Blood Ravens, because that's my main Space Marine force. I don't know why, but I also started building an Ultramarines force that's pretty much all Primaris. Probably because I seem to end up with, you know, through like part works and trades and stuff, I always seem to end up with a bunch more starter stuff. So what I basically said was I'm going to make an all more or less starter, easy build Ultramarines force. So it's like a super basic Ultramarine force that I've just been building up over the past year or so. It's got the Dark Imperium It's got an Indomitus set. Was it Shadow Spear? The one with that introduced the, what were they called? The Vanguard Marines? Or Phobos armor? We've got that. And a bunch of stuff from like Partworks and stuff. Yeah, see, alright, that's a really good deal. I'll add that particular issue to my Ultramarines. So yeah, I'm building myself the combat patrol for these Space Marines first. So I'm gonna do a few combat patrol battle reports. That's kind of where I think my battle reports are going to go. Mostly doing combat patrols, which on the one hand, I get to buy a bunch of stuff and paint a bunch of stuff that I've never painted before, and that makes me kind of happy. But on the other hand, I'm probably going to get in massive amounts of trouble for it. So, at the minute, I've definitely got a Death Guard one. I've definitely got, well, I've got a Dark Eldar one, because I just painted that the weekend in that 24-hour stream. I've got, well, I will have a Space Marine one, I will have a Tyranid one. Once I've done the Space Marine one, I'll do the Tyranids. For some of them I just need a few models. So I've got the Tau one, that's definitely, I've got that one. Some of them I just need a few models just to sort of bring them up to there. So like for example with the Custodes one, I just need a squad of Sisters of Silence. With the Horn Demons one, I just need a squad of Bloodletters. So a few things like that. That'll be cool, yeah, because I like the idea of combat patrol stuff. You know, that little games, set armies. Orc one, no, I can't. No, I can't really do the Orc one. I mean, I could, but no, I don't have the a mega boss in. Sorry, a boss in Mega Armor. Because when I got into Orcs, they didn't really have a war boss in Mega Armor at the time as a model. So I will get a war boss in Mega Armor. I'd love to do a big mech in Mega Armor, but I don't think I want to anymore because it means I would have two random mega knobs, and I think you buy them in units of 3 in multiples of 3, and I don't particularly want to go for a whole. Well, I've got 2. I've got to pay the points, but for 3. But I've only got 2 I can add to that squad. Yeah. Right, to his backpack. It's kind of like this Sigmarization. I don't like that aspect of Sigmar. You know, I mean, take the. I was thinking of doing a Nurgle army at some point for Sigmar, and I was looking at like the big guys, the humans on the bloatflies, like the Blight Kings on bloatflies, and I was like, okay, so if I want to make the HQ guy, I get 1 box, and then I've got 1 guy left over, so I'll have to get another pack to actually make a legal squad, a minimum legal squad of 2 models. But then if I want to add extras, I've got to add as 2. So I'm gonna have 1 left over. It's like, So I'm like, do I want to buy 3 boxes? So I've got 2 units, or 1 unit 4, and then 2 of the HQ choices, or sell the bits that make the HQ choice to someone else who plays Nurgle. I don't know. Ugh. First world problems, really. Right, got a drink over here. The finest Aldi cola. To be fair, it tastes a lot better than a lot of the other supermarket owned brands. I find Lidl's to be very hit or miss. If they get it right, they get it really right, and their stuff is awesome. But when they get it wrong, they get it really wrong. I can't do most of their cereals. They taste they're kind of flavourless. But I love their soft drinks. Not so much on the Lidl soft drinks. Their cola's not as good, but their Iron Brew is brilliant. I was just saying this to Lindsay the other day. You know, if I had the ability to drive, I would, on shopping day, I would just go out when she's working, and I would literally just do all of our shopping by going to all the different supermarkets and just getting the stuff that they do best and cheapest, because that's the problem, you know. Morrison's do certain stuff really well, Sainsbury's do certain stuff really well, Tesco's, and it's like, over there since we moved to Hartley. I mean, we used to go to Sainsbury's pretty much exclusively when we were up in Chester Street, because it was the most convenient supermarket for us that pretty much stocked all we wanted. Because otherwise we were going quite some distance. I mean, there was a Tesco in town, but it was... I hesitate to use the word small Tesco, you know, because it's like 20 years ago, that would have been I don't know, it would have been considered a big Tesco, but its range felt quite limited when you were coming from Newcastle, where you had like a bunch of Tesco extras and stuff. So I don't know, maybe just perceptions being skewed, just big stores. But where we are now, we've got a 10-minute walk away. We've got a Tesco, and I was there this morning because I picked up my Mortal Realm. An extra Mortal Realm beyond my subscription, because I wanted an extra Marsh Crawler Slog Off. I can't remember what the name is. So I bought an extra one of them to add to the collection. First part, gotta go next week. Something like Tesco Extra is big and Tesco Express is small. Yeah. Tesco Extra is like the super store. And Tesco Extra is Tesco Express is really small. But the one we had in Chester Street was just like a normal Tesco. It wasn't either, but it felt, I don't know, it felt weird going from Newcastle, where pretty much the Tesco's were all massive in Gateshead, and then to Chester Street, where they were quite small. That probably makes, yeah. And it just felt like a lot more limited. I don't know. Maybe it's, classic first world problems, isn't it? So ended up going to Sainsbury's because it wasn't actually that badly priced, especially when we took into account we got triple nectar points for having cat insurance with them. Oh no, house insurance. We had the house insurance with them. I need to renew the house insurance. We're not going to go to Sainsbury's again simply because we don't shop at Sainsbury's, so the main benefit of the triple nectar points is not gonna fly. I need to get onto price comparison sites and Top Cashback and that, and have a look and see what's going to be the best for us for when we renew at the end of the month. Oh, I do love the models, just really dynamic. I know a lot of people complain about, oh, they're all mono pose, it's the same poses, and it's like, well, you know, 10 years ago you were whining about the models being too static. Never happy, are you? I mean, to be fair, I think that the old models were great, the old Firstborn models were great, but yeah, they were a bit static. And yeah, these guys are a bit. The monoposeness is a bit of a pain, but it's that balance, isn't it? If they're really dynamic, you're never going to get the kind of modularity out of it that you used to have out of the old Space Marine kits. You know, like where your Assault Marines, your Stern Guards, your Vanguards could all be sort of mixed up. I mean, my Space Wolf army that is in yours attic, we should get that out and rebase it because they're all on 25mm bases. You know, I just bought a bunch of kits: Space Marine, Space Wolves, Terminators, Assault Terminators, Space Wolf Terminators. I just sort of essentially put it into one pile and just mixed it all up. I ended up with quite a bit of variety there. Can the Space Wolves have Vanguard Marines in their new not Vanguard, Stern Guards? Right, how would I do that? Well, I'd chop off the bits on the backpack with like the veteran symbol on, and I'd put a bit from one of the Space Force sprues on there. The cloaks I'd probably do as like leather. So instead of doing it as cloak, I'd do it as like a leather. Maybe take all the helmets off and just do bare heads, bare wolfy heads. Or maybe even try and grab the... Yeah. Maybe even grab the Forge World Mark 6 heads for them, so they got the wolfy type thing. I know it's a bit cliche and a bit cheesy, but I think they will actually suit those quite well. Or just, you know, mix up some general Space Wolf heads from the Space Wolf kit. I've probably got tons of spares in my sitting in the eaves in here. I am going to finish this leg, and then I'm actually going to look up if they can actually take them. While I'm at it, I need to download the new bits onto my cloud drive, the new Alderi data cards and stuff, because they changed some of the rules. Let's just finish this leg. Because that is one thing I don't mind. I don't mind it when they spot an obvious issue that they fix it. I think the problem is going to be when it's in a codex and it requires a whole new download for the codex. I'm not looking forward to that, because that was an issue I had with 9th and to a degree Age of Sigmar for a while. You know, where they'd radically alter something because it just didn't work with other stuff that had been released, especially with campaign books and stuff, and it just didn't, and it just meant that I would hate carrying around all that stuff. Right, okay, right, let's have a look. I'm going to go to just check for this. I want to have a look and see if Space Wolves can take Snugger. Why is that open? I never opened it. Right, okay, so Warhammer, not social, community. I just want to have a look and see. Right, downloads Warhammer 40k. Okay, right. So I need to. Right, so download that while I'm at it, because it needs downloading. Index card errata. Right, okay. Space Wolves, Space Wolves, Space Wolves, Space Wolves. I haven't had a proper look at the Space Wolves stuff yet. I was pointing up some of my armies the other day. I'm trying to. Okay, so. No, didn't want it full screen. or exit full screen. I just want to have it a bit. No, that's the search tool. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Right. Okay. Your army cannot include any of the following: tactical assault, assault squad with jump packs, devastator squad, command squad, primaris, or apothecary. Okay. Oh, right. Okay. So that's cool. So I can take Vanguard veterans. Sternguard veterans. That is awesome. Right. Oh, wow. Lot of geek mail. What we got here? I have to upload a bunch of stuff. A lot of geek gold now. From Video Game Geek, I've been adding a bunch of DLC and stuff to games that I have, so I can add them to my collection. Right, okay, let's go back to painting. Yeah, I like to keep my collection maintained, and I've been adding bits where the DLC is missing and I just haven't added it in the past. So I got all the Far Cry 6 DLC just added today, and all the Necromunda hired gun stuff. To be fair, most of the Necromunda hired gun stuff is literally just skins. Hence I've not bought any. I've just gotten the ones that came with the game in the first place. So I got that a few months back in a Humble Bundle. Not a few months, it must be going on quite a while now. Must be going on quite a while actually, yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time since that Humble Bundle. This month's pretty good. Humble Bundle, Humble Choice, that is, the monthly membership. This month is pretty good. 8 games, and we've got in there a 1010, which I'm really happy about. That's meant to be a very good game. Outer Worlds Spacer's Choice, which I'm guessing is because the launch of that was absolutely disastrous for Obsidian, because it actually ran worse than the base game. But I believe they've pretty much fixed it. That's the problem with games these days, especially on PC. They spend so long to optimize it for the console that by the time they launch on PC, when they get around to sorting out PC, it's not got the QC. Last of Us Part Bloody 1. I mean, I've got the remake on PS4 disc, and that's how I'm going to play that, because I've not played it yet. I have not played The Last of Us, the first one. I was not really playing that many video games when the first game came out at the end of the PS3. I didn't get a PS4, but I do have a PS5, so I'm going to play it at some point soon. But the next game I'm going to play on the PlayStation, I'm going to finish God of War. The first one, that is. So I missed all that because I didn't have a PS4. So planning to play The Last of Us 1 eventually too. Yeah. I mean, it's just, as I said, I just missed it because it was. I really had stopped playing PS3 by the time it came out. I was mostly just all on the Xbox. I think the PS3 was a little bit of a disappointment for me. Dad of War 1, gotcha. Yeah, I missed it on the PS4 because obviously I didn't have one. So obviously, I just told you that I haven't had one. It's not obvious I didn't have one unless I told you. But I got a PS5 when I renewed my phone contract. They were like, yeah, you're going to be paying like a pittance, and do you want to add a PS5 on? It's only cost you so much a month with an extra controller and Horizon Forbidden Forbidden West, and I was like, yes. Yeah, I got Spider-Man. How I got my Spider-Man was really weird. I got my I just got an email out of the blue from Nvidia, right? And they were like, as a result of such and such thing in Australia, as the owner of a card sold in the Australia region, you are entitled to a free game from us. And at the time they were doing from our packages at the time they were doing Spider-Man, and I was like, wait, I'm getting a Spider-Man for free. Basically, I ended up contacting the people who I bought my PC from, and I'm like, they think I've got my graphics card from Australia. Is this going to affect my warranty or anything? They were like, oh, no. We had to source the... at the time, there was a big shortage on graphics cards, and they were like, oh, no, we sourced a lot of our cards from Australia. So, yeah, your card will have been sold and subject to this whatever deal that was done with the Australian regulator for that. So I got a free copy of Spider-Man Remastered, and I was like, oh yeah. And then I bought Miles Morales on the PC. Yeah, I do a lot more of my gaming on PC these days, but I will go back. I to the point where, as I said, I just bought a Steam Deck with my wages from UK Games Expo. Well, I say wages, credit carded it because it was on sale, and then I got my wages coming at the end of the month, which will go straight on the credit card. I say credit card. It was actually Megan's credit card because she paid for it, because she was like, I'll get it for you as long as you pay me back. And the next day I got my expenses, so I was able to pay half of it off. Which was fun. But yeah, no. Yeah, Last of Us is. In fact, you know what? I might actually start doing some of that at the weekend. Play a bit of God of War downstairs. I know. I always feel like I'm being unfair because we ended up putting the PlayStation and the Xbox Series X downstairs, attached to the main TV, and I always feel like if I decide I'm going to go and play a game on those, I always feel like I'm being selfish by taking the main TV away from people. Definitely a very different attitude to the one I had in my 20s when I was still with Lindsay, but you know what I mean. I was like, right, I'm going to play on Mass Effect now. I'll play a Halo. I don't care. You can watch something. Definitely different attitude. But yeah, no, I've just got my problem over the past few years has been, yeah, distraction and grabbing games and like, I'll get around to playing that at some point. Hello, Lindsay. I've got Lindsay's come up to see me. How can I help you? You want a snack? They've come for my snack bag. Well, have a look.
Where is this here?
Yeah, that's the snack bag. It's the coronation one. What is the... Meanwhile, if I want to play on the PS4, I have to be ready to be heckled.
What?
Someone on chat. Wife's can't. She's stealing snacks from the box. She's feeling a bit fragile at the minute. She was in a car yesterday, and a tractor went into the side of it. So she's definitely got a bit of a shock from that.
I thought it was going to kill me.
It's perfectly normal, sweetie. To feel like, you know, like that.
I opened your Ritz. I'm very sorry.
My Ritz. Oh, so the crackers. Yeah, cool. Yeah, fine. It's all good. Yes, there's a red done.
Thank you.
No problem. What are you doing now?
I'm gonna watch the Turtles instead.
You're going to go to bed and watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody can find a problem with that, ever.
They're the best as well. For 2003.
2003.
The one's more closely aligned with the comic.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the new movie.
Should be interesting.
Yeah. I mean,
He's done with it.
to be fair, he's the guy. He actually does really love the Turtles. So, and all from a comic perspective. So,
It's got people from Rocksteady in it, and they are not they're not comic creations. So, yeah.
well, yeah, I get that, but they're like so recognizable to people our age.
Okay.
My wife is a Turtles purist. She doesn't like Bebop and Rocksteady.
I don't think I didn't like them.
You're not a fan of Kang either, are you?
Look, Kang is loosely based on the Utrons, but the Utrons are just cooler in every single way, okay?
Utrons are cooler than Kang. Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, sorry, I've just been painting. So I painted. So this started out as Korax white. I put Cassandora yellow on it, and now I'm putting sort of a bit higher up some funguin orange, sort of. And the next layer up is going to be Caribou Crimson, and then it will be a dry brush at the top of Abaddon Black, so like, you know, the soot forming. Yeah, my wife can talk. I did buy it. I think I got the Turtles game recently. I just can't remember. I think it was like in one of the sales. Yes, I did. It was a physical game, which is really rare. Actually, to be fair, when it comes to Switch, I tend to go for physical games because Nintendo have stupid prices. Let me go see if I can find it. 2 seconds. Should be over here. Yep, there we go. Oh. Turtles Cowabunga collection. It's got all the old NES, SNES, Mega Drive, and what is in there exactly? Doesn't really say. See, I miss the days when you got instruction manuals that told you what was in the thing. I just hate that this little card comes in this massive box, but then it's saying I don't want to get rid of the box. What is on the Turtles Cowabunga collection? Cowabunga collection. Right. Okay. Let's have a look. See what's in the Cowabunga collection. NES, Arcade, NES, Game Boy Arcade, Game Boy, NES, Sega Genesis, so Mega Drive, Game Boy, SNES, Mega Drive, NES. Okay, yeah. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games on there. So we've got TMNT, the arcade version, TMNT 2, the NES version, full of the Foot Clan Game Boy, Turtles in Time Arcade, Back from the Sewers Game Boy, the Manhattan Project on the NES, Turtles in Time on the SNES, Hyperstone Heist on the Mega Drive, Radical Rescue on the Game Boy, Tournament Fighters on the SNES, Tournament Fighters on the Mega Drive, and Tournament Fighters on the NES. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good collection. And I really want Shredder's Revenge as well, so that's going to be... Yeah, I like Turtles, just not as much as my wife, but yeah. She is an absolute Turtles mega fan. Like, when I left Steve Jackson Games, I stopped working with them, right? I was like, right, no more Munchkin. We're never having any more Munchkin in this house. I'm done. I've got a massive collection. I do not need any more. And then they did a Kickstarter for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Munchkin. And it was like, yeah, she had to have that. Right, I'm going to dry brush the Blue Horrors now. So we based it with Calidor Sky. We washed it with Druti Violet, and now I am dry brushing it with Calidor Sky. and then I'm going to dry brush it with Temple Guard Blue, and that will be their skin complete. Then we might be able to move on to some Pink Horror skin. I'm probably going to... I'm trying to decide, do I want to dry brush their skin, or or layer it? This is only for a board game, but I don't know. I don't know. Do I want to? No, you know what? I'm going to dry brush it. I'm going to dry brush it. I'm going to dry brush it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dry brush it. And one more blue horror to do. I love these in bulk done. These the pink horrors and the blue horrors, because they behave as they do in the in the lore. They split apart. So like your pink horrors turn into two blue horrors when you destroy them. Oh, blue on my hand. Blue on my hand. And then Temple Guard Blue. Nice light blue, that's Iron Blue, that's Wolfen Blue, Tempest Blue, Barrow Blue, light Barrow Blue, colour those, Shota Green, there it is, Temple Guard Blue. Oh, that's starting to harden up. Oh yeah, I'm going to have to get a new Temple Guard Blue. That's annoying. Don't know, do I have a spare Temple Guard Blue? I might do. Right. Oh yeah, that's looking quite nice. Yeah, I like that. So yeah, it's a nice skin. And go through on this guy. And yeah, this Temple Guard Blue's starting to dry up, something rotten. I'll have to get a new one on the next get paid. Well, I've got paid today actually, so I will have a look. There we go. But I kind of need contrast medium, and I'm trying to get hold of that right now. That is proving really hard. It's just not in stock anywhere, and I've no idea what's going on with that. It's like annoying. But I've got a couple of dragons from Age of Sigmar that I want to do, but I'm doing them very contrasty, because I like the idea of doing these in contrast. Okay, so they're done, and now we're going to get Pink Horror out, and we're going to drive us Pink Horrors, surprisingly. Emperor's Children, there we go, Pink Horror. Just listening to it. I haven't listened to it yet, but I hear Fallout Boy have done like a modern version of We Didn't Start the Fire. Quite like Fallout Boy actually, so probably ages me right there. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Yeah, nice. It's leaving the lighter, the shade in the recesses, and I like that. Even bits of the white as well. Some white is still there, where it's sort of pulled away. I quite like that. There we go. Right. Next one. There we go. So my plan is to kind of stay on until I get me the what you call it, the Brimstone Horrors done. So probably gonna be a little bit longer yet, but we'll get there. I mean, that's just an all-round, it's just a wash job for the most part, and then a dry brush. Well, I think this is going to be Emperor's Children next, but I will double check, see how GW have done it, because I'm sort of following their scheme, as it were. Duncan tip of the day, just for these guys' skin. I think I'll copy this blue aura technique for my Rashar. That's a faction for Carnivale, which is a game by TT Combat that I quite like. And I've just got myself a starter set last year, and I've only just gotten around to painting it now. Because I'm terrible at that. Oops. No. It's blue horror skin done there. Right, so I've done the blue horror, pink horror. Yeah, Emperor's Children. Okay, right, let's give that a dry brush of Emperor's Children. So put that away. Emperor's Children. I just had to get a new pot of this the other day because that's all done. I thought I put the bin down here. I must have moved it. Oh, sharing the office with her tomorrow. That'll be fun. She has a little desk over there that she works at sometimes because she works from home. She has done for like 12, 15 years. I don't know exactly. Not long after she started working for the company she works for, she ended up helping to outsource some jobs to India, and she now helps supervise that office through here. Right, there we go. Okay, yeah, that's looking rather nice. A light dry brush of pink horror to kind of highlight that. Looks okay. It's just board game pieces, so I'm not terribly bothered too much about them being 100% perfect. So they're not going to be display models, they're just going to get put in the board game, and they're probably going to get knocked about quite a bit. So I'll probably put a layer of Storm Shield or something over them just to give them a protective coat. Right, there's that guy done. Right, let's see, how is my Brimstone Horrors doing? Yeah, that's still drying, Okay, what I'll do now is I will do the gold on the various different horrors. Bits of gold. So they've all got a little bit of gold on them. So this guy has got a thing here. So there's two identical blue horrors, two identical Brimstone Horrors, you know, to make up the, well, yeah, two sets of two, as it were. Oh, we got a bit of the brush stuck there. Okay. Can't actually hear the music I've got playing for you guys right now, but it's good. I've got the thing there, but I'm going to make that magic there, but I'm going to use some Hex Ray Flame for that, I think. That's my plan. There we go with that. Put the gold on that. Right, let's do the pink horrors then. This should be a bit more. Probably do some of these as jewels, some of these bits here. Actually concentrate on what you're doing, Michael. So these guys are all about your magic and stuff. So Facebook are launching a new Twitter rival on Friday, apparently, called Freds. Now, I don't know about you, but I am a British man of a certain age, and for me, the name Freds means something a lot different to social media. I'll tell you that. Because if you were my age, you probably... Oh, Lindsay didn't. But Lindsay didn't get a lot, actually, to be fair. Lindsay's school was very weird. But yeah, no, Freds to me is like, no, hot nuclear war, horror, bad, not good. You know, middle-aged women peeing themselves in the middle of Sheffield. So, yeah. That should be fun. I'm sure no one's going to be bringing up traumatized memories from that name. Powerful bloody film, though. Although these days it probably doesn't make any sense, because, you know... Or would it? I don't know. You know, the stuff that's going on between America and China. Who knows? Certain things, you know, we us kids who were born in the 80s, you know, millennials as it were, who were like, just the way that we were brought, you know, that we saw certain things that just influences to do things in a very interesting way. It's like, well, not you see them anymore, but you know, the bits that used to hold plastic cans together, like the plastic stuff. You know, it's like, try being a millennial and not literally clipping holes in all of them because you don't want the turtles to die. Do they still have news round on the telly? I don't know. I don't know much about telly. You know, modern telly, that is. It's just... Yeah, that was like... That was certainly a powerful program. News round, you know. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I like the way it didn't pull any punches. If that makes any sense, it didn't sort of try and fluff up the news. It was like it did present on serious, horrible stuff. Got a little ankle ring down there. These guys don't have anything like that. These ones are a little bit more detailed than the other ones, but yeah, we'll get there. Okay. So we'll get this gold done and then we'll get it washed. Probably with Gulliman flesh, actually. No, let's do Fire Slayer's flesh. Oh no, actually, you know what? I'm gonna do Reichland flesh shade gloss. Make it a really different kind of gold. At least that's the plan. Little curly thing there. Oh, I have to put a bit of glue on there. I've put gold on his foot. That's what, more on the pink horror then. I'll start getting some tongues done as well. I'm not going to use a typical Screamer pink on the pink horror. I think I'll make his tongue a bit different. Try and not make it so, you know, organic as it were, make it look a bit weird. There we go. Bit more gold on there. Oh yeah, okay, I see where the knife thing is. It sort of cuts, so I don't want to put actual. Get these lines done there. Most of the next couple of days are probably going to be spent doing a bit of tidying in the house, to be honest, because I've got to get the place ready because I've got my nephews coming for the weekend. They've not been here before, and they're coming for the first time since we moved here last August. We used to have them over quite a bit for sleepovers, but just moved here, we haven't really had them, and we're having them this weekend, and it's going to be fun. They're little terrors, but love them. Absolute little terrors. Right, let's get the Gracia, not Celestia Grey. Subtle differences in like an off-white. And we're going to start putting some of this magic. We're going to make this magic something. Maybe I could do Tesseract Glow. Ah, that might work. Yeah, Tesseract Glow, that should work. be different. Right. Okay. Got him. Got him. Now I'll do some Tesseract glow on these, which means I'll need to use the vortex mixer, so that'll be noisy. Which is always fun. Yeah, unfortunately Tesseract glow requires a use of the vortex mixture almost every single time because it's just that bad at separating. There you go. So he's got his magical power bits there. As well. Yeah, so I'll probably be just tidying up around the house tomorrow. Just might have to swap around a couple of bits and bobs on the setup here actually. Just to make a few bits work make sense. Might have to swap around one of the poles on here or one of the poles on there. I think that would make sense. I should not sing, I'm a terrible singer. That is one thing I wish I was good at though. You know, well, at least passable. I wish I could sing a lot more, a lot better. I don't know, just because I like singing, you know, just humming to myself and singing along and... Oh, terrible. Didn't sound that too badly. Oh. It's fair, I'm not as bad as my sister-in-law or my friend Paul. They are dreadful. They are terrible, terrible, terrible singers. But that's, yeah, one thing I wouldn't mind being able to do a bit better. Not because I want to be like a professional singer or a rock star or anything, just because I don't know, I get self-conscious. I sing a lot when I'm on my own. Just give this a coat of shabby bun so we can get that varnished. So I like to get that varnished nice and early simply because I like to make sure that the varnish is fully dry before I put on any transfers, because you know the softeners and that kind of thing. I suppose one thing about choirs, you all sound great together and you don't have to worry about standing out. Kind of comforting, noticing other people make it. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. If I wasn't such a, if I wasn't so had such crippling social anxiety, I would look to join a choir or something. Just because I know I'm not very good at singing. You know, like I'm okay. I'm not like completely tone deaf. I was in a musical once at school. I was in Annie Get Your Gun. I was the Indian chief. I had like 2 lines. And I just sang in the essentially with the rest of the cast. which wasn't too bad because, as I say, it hides the worst. Just today when I was doing, oh no, yesterday when I was doing some priming of some models, I just found myself singing in the kitchen to Kylie Minogue, and I was like, oh, yeah. To be fair, it was the Abbey Road session, which is an absolutely baller album. Which basically has a full orchestra, and she sort of does, you know, relays down sort of orchestral and acoustic versions of her songs, you know, and that's actually quite good because you're going back all the way to I Should Be So Lucky of the Locomotion. It's quite mental, but oof. Again, man of a certain age. Kylie Minogue, probably one of my first crushes. And she can still sing and dance and oof, yeah. So the problem now is, again, being a certain age, it's gone from, you know, being a young man admiring a beautiful lady to being like there's a point where you cross from being just a young man admiring, you know, a young lady, you know, oh yeah, she's nice. It crosses from that, you know, it's perfectly nice and innocent, into just lech, because you get to that age and you're like, yep, yeah, no, it's a lech, you're a lech. It's not that bad, but still. It does feel weird. Right. Yeah, no, Kylie Minogue. Yes. Definitely still amazing. I was just talking to my wife about it the other day. I was like, you know what? The thing with Kylie Minogue releasing all these, always seem to have released a new greatest hits album every couple of years, and it's like, it's not that she's just flashing out the money. It's just she literally has to keep up with how often she like completely reinvents her music. Anyway, enough Kylie Minogue. Yeah, the wife can't keep up with my musical taste. She's like, she doesn't get it. I often get my my playlists turned off because she says there's no consistency to them. I was like, 1 second, it's like Cradle of Filth, and the only reason it's Cradle of Filth is, I know they're a big cliche as that kind of band, but it's because I grew up in I spent 10 years in the town where they were from, so pretty much, you know, Cradle of Filth was like local band, so yeah, we got a lot of that. We got, you know, they used to do homecoming shows all the time, so yeah. So I'll go from Cradle of Filth to like some sort of Latin, like Angelica Garcia, you know, for some Latin pop, and then over to some kiddie boppy thing, and then back over to Metallica, and throw in a bit of U2, and it's just like there's no consistency in your musical taste, Michael. It's weird. It's like you can't go from listening to the Black Album to Bewitched in the same playlist. Like, why not? Why not? Yeah, actually prefer a rocky bend, but yeah, I've got a taste for terrible pop music. There we go. You'll play this music? Yeah, pretty much. That's the way I look at it. To be fair, it does wind her up something rotten. Right, well, we got. I want Reichel and Floshley gloss for this gold. I'm going to go from just for a nice sort of shiny gold. Still got a finisher shield for a Kyric Acolyte because I thought I'd lost 2 shields. I've only lost 1. Somehow between priming it out in the garden and getting it upstairs, I lost the Kyric Acolyte shield. And I thought I'd lost another one, but it hadn't just fallen into my fallen under a drawer. Right, okay, so that's him done. Oh, I've missed the back of this guy's thing here. Get that done in a minute. I didn't want to do that. Right, let's get some gold and get that done. Okay. Yeah, completely missed all the gold on the back of this hand here. Put that there, so I know that's the one. Then we'll do a little bit of right on flush shade, just a little bit on this guy. I say this guy, these guys here. Sort of get it shiny. Just to get it a bit shiny. Do the bit on his feet there though. Right. A little bit on here because they've got one little bit of gold on there. Last one on this guy. Right. How are these Brimstone Horrors coming on? Yeah, I think we can give them the next coat. So, Carabao Crimson all towards the top. So we started off with Corax White and Cassandora Yellow. Then Fungal and Orange, and now some Carabao Crimson. That's pretty much all these guys are getting. So they'll get a little bit of a dry brush of what you call it, Abaddon Black, just at the tips. At the end. And that'll finish them off. we go. Alright, so that's just got to dry. I'm going to get out our... Right, so Tesseract Glow for the magic-y stuff. Now what I've done with this is, I've got a couple of agitators in there. And I've got a vortex mixer over here, so they're going to basically mix until it's... Because Tesseract Glow is awful for separating. It's absolutely dreadful for just separating. As soon as it sees air, it just separates. So give it a good old shake on here. I've got to be careful with this vortex mixture. The thing with vortex mixtures, they're great, but you do have to be super careful with them because they will damage your fingers if you use them too much, because they are an industrial piece of gear. I used to be I did chemistry at university, and we had to fill in so many safety forms for this, because you can actually get a Z called vibration white finger from overuse of them. Almost done. Right. Pretty much it's when you can start hearing the... Here, I'll hold it up to the microphone, but you can start hearing the thing. That's when it's... Yeah, so I can see a lot better. There's still some separation at the bottom, but you can only do what you can do. Right, so this is for the magic flamey stuff, because I think it'll just stand out really nicely. Yeah, I like that. I like that effect. Same on these guys. Just a bit sort of ethereal, odd looking. So I'm going to get these guys' tongues done next. This last guy, and hopefully he's got, yeah, that gold stripe, so I can give that a wash now as well. Clean. And over to Resurrection Fleshly Gloss. So I will after this. There we go. Right, give that a bit dry. Now we're going to work on tongues. So I'm going to contrast up the tongues. So put a grace here. Put that base of So I'll do, for these guys I'll do Bracia and then a bit of Vulpus Pink. Actually, you know what, I'll do the eyes. And give that a bit of yellow contrast or something. He's going to get a green tongue, I think. Yeah, these guys are going to get green tongues. Or it should be the eyes as well on these. I've already got one eye showing through. Do the eye. Can you see the... No, can't really see that eye. one more blue horror. Get this eyes done. Right in. There we go. There's his eyes done. Bit of bone on these shoulder pads. Start thinking about varnishing them. Oh. I think these are a heavy support squad, they said. Which is interesting. You know, flamers, you normally expect them to be something like, oh, I don't know, maybe I'm just too used to heresy. Where a support weapon like a flamer is just like troop. Yeah, probably thinking too close to heresy. It'd be cool if the multi-part for these also had like a melter weapon or something. I think the name works, you know, in Furnace. Give them a choice of a heavy support squad, give them a choice of melter. I suppose we've got the melter squad in the Eradicators though. Except they're in Gravis armor, but then again, I love Gravis armor, so I'm happy with that. Is it Eradicator or is it Eliminator? It has... No, oh, I don't know. Too many squad names in Primaris stuff. There we go. On there. I've already started assembling the starter set stuff for the Ultramarines because I didn't get a second second set of Leviathan for the Space Marines as I would normally do because I had no one who wanted to split a box with who wanted Tyranids. I mean, I suppose I could have had more Tyranids. So I'm going to get a starter set with a combat patrol. I've already bought the stuff off the Sternguard sprues, so I've got the the Sternguard squad for the Ultramarines, the Lieutenant and the Apothecary Biologa, so to buy them, I was able to buy them off one seller for a reasonable price. Next month I'm going to pick up a Inferno squad for them, and then when the starter sets come out I'll buy the big starter set and get the combat patrol in the big starter set and a bit of scenery. And that'll be my Ultramarine Leviathan starter set. I need to crack on with painting some more of the Ultramarine stuff. Wanted to get that up to 2,000 points this year. And I was on course, so all I had to do was add some Blade Guard Veterans and Blade Guard Ancients, and that was 2,000 points, but now they are... But now with the points, I actually have to add some more stuff, so I'll see what I've got in the box. Might add the aggressors. Yeah, the aggressors might work. There we go. Right, there we go. There is the... Right, so let's get Vulpus Pink out. Sip a drink. Oh, an hour and 45 minutes, not so too bad. 11 o'clock. Okay. Right, Vulpus Pink, and we're going to do the Blue Horror Tongues. There we go, there's one. Two. 3. 4. And then we're going to do a green on the Blue Horrors, and I got a new green recently, so I might try that. I don't know why I got it. Oh no, yeah, I think it'll go well soon. Karandras green. So first time opening it, so I'm going to start off by giving it an open. I'm going to get out a couple of... Oh, where's it gone? Oh, close it up again. Don't want to spill it. Oh, where's me? Agitators gone. I have a pack of agitators. I keep them in this drawer and they're gone. Okay, well that is a problem. Oh no, I got some glass ones here. They'll do. Where's the normal agitators? Oh, there they are. They're up there. Well, I'll use these glass ones. They need using anyway. Or are they acrylic? I don't know. I've pretty much had agitators to all my paints now. They're just too useful. Probably add that to the big pack for the metal ones. Right, so there goes a couple of agitators. Give that a good old... Actually, I'm going to give it a Vortex mix. There we go. Right. Karandras green. Oh yeah, that works. Oh yeah, I like that. Oh yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. How's these coming along? One's dry, 2 dry. So half dry on these brimstones, because that's basically what's determining how long this stream is lasting, how long it takes to do the brimstones. Oh yeah, that Karandras green is just, that's really good. I like that. Perfect. Let's get the eyes done. So for that, various yellows, but I think I'll go for a really bright yellow, so I'll go for Imperial, no, I don't know. Iantin yellow or Imperial Fist? Imperial Fist is quite... I'll do Imperial Fist. Right. So, touch from Imperial Fist. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Oh, I've got another eye up there. I missed. Oh yeah, very nice. So these guys are getting a lot of contrast because I think it just fits with their whole, it fits with the more organic-y shape. Right, and then the other guy. Let's put down another dollop of grace here, but now I want to do the teeth. I'm going to do the teeth with Skeleton Horde. Grace here again. And I've got this in that other eye up there. Alright, I'm going to base these feathers because I'm not going to do them tonight. I want to have a think about how I want to do these. But I'll probably do them quite bright. I'll think about how we're going to do those. These teeth. We'll do these Skeleton Horde. Ooh, 2 layers of teeth. Shark. There we go. I'm not going to do these feathers tonight at all. Maybe we'll do the claws, I guess, as well. Should do the claws, the toes. Well, claws, yeah. And you'll be able to get the and get them done. I can probably do the get the basing material on before I go to bed, so that that is done. Blue horror here. Just getting his toes done. There we go. Bad. Next one. Two more teeth. Another pink horror. And I think I can kind of see an eye in this socket here. Claws done. Yeah, I think it's just the way. Right, so we'll get the other one done with an eye. Yeah. Okay, so 2 more blue horrors to do. And then I think the brimstones will basically be ready for their dry brushing at that point. So that'll be my plan for the night. At least when it comes to painting live. go. Right, so now for a bit of dry brushing. So I need black, Abaddon black for this. Whatever that is. Oh, there it is. It's out already. I need a little bit for this. Just the very tips, you know? Just trying to wonder if I need to do... I'm going to have a quick look at the website. Brimstone Horrors. Yep, just this last one. Right, so there we go. There is. That's basically it. I just want to see if they've done the eyes. Because I wasn't going to do the eyes, but they look kind of boring, to be honest. So I'm going to have a look on the website at the Brimstone Horrors. Warhammer Age of Sigmar, that'll be the easy way to get to it. Grand Alliance Chaos, Disciplines of Tzeentch, Blue Horrors of Tzeentch. Oh, they've given them white eyes and sort of black teeth. Okay, fair enough. That seems reasonable. Let's have a look. So we'll go with Grace here because that's a good white. So we'll do the eyes. So dot the eyes with. Okay, yeah, that I see now. Yeah, that works. Yep, that really works. Okay, two more to do eyes on, and then we'll do the teeth. And then last one for the teeth. And then we'll do the then we'll do the teeth, and then that's me done for the night. No, just 2 hours, so it's not bad time. It's not bad time to stream for. Okay, right. Okay. All right. Okay. Halfway through then. And then she's up here. And one more. And all the Brimstone Horrors are done. They've just been facing. brilliant. Anyway, that's fantastic. Thank you for joining me. Tonight stands to scale. It's been fun having you. I hope you were doing something good as well. I should have asked, really. Terribly rude of me. Anyway, I'm going to go and grab a couple of chocolate, I guess. All right, I'll see you later. Good night.